Monday morning once again, that weather is still not improved. We're just about to enter August and we've got another 10 days of rain to look forward to. It's been an horrendous July, but we're now getting to that point where we've got 6 continuous weeks of rain. It's not a normal summer by far. And we've had a mixture of comments on the channel as well. People saying that certain things aren't doing very well at all in the garden. And I think that's just something that's happening all over the country this year. It's nothing that anybody's doing wrong. It's just that the weather is just nowhere near what it should be. As we approach autumn, it feels like we've not even had a summer. The night times are getting a little bit cooler already, at least in this area. And the days feel a bit damp, which is the reason why yesterday we pulled all those onions. We can't afford to just let them sit in ground and rot. And I'm sure there's quite a few more people that's done the same thing. And it's not very encouraging to start thinking about what to sow and grow in August, which is a video that will be coming up tomorrow, because of the way spring and summer's worked out for a lot of people. But if you're a first time gardener especially, treat this year as a practice run. You've gained quite a lot of knowledge over the last few months and you started doing things that you've never done before. And then all you need to do is take that one thing that worked and just put everything else down to a learning curve. Knowing all the time in your head that it wasn't entirely your fault if something didn't work out, because there's a lot of things this year that haven't worked out for a lot of people. So just for that alone, it's been worth it. And I have heard that there's quite a few people like Carol who are harvesting quite a few bits and bobs, and it's her first year as well. And it also depends on what part of the country you live in. Certain areas are going to be colder or warmer than others, so certain crops are going to do better or worse. So when you get to end of this season, it's a good idea to look at what worked quite well for you and what didn't seem to do much of anything at all. Then you can plan next season based around those decisions, and you'll have that jump start of that 1 year's experience already in hand. That's pretty much all I can say about this year so far. But chin up to everybody. Well done for carrying on trying. And we've still got some growing season left. I'm still planting containers up at the moment because I'm keeping a lot of things in greenhouse. I think this year, probably for the first time, I won't be planting anything outside for autumn and winter in those hoop tunnels. We've already got quite a lot of things in there, like cabbages and beetroots, spring onions and some carrots. And I think that'll do it for this year. So then we can concentrate a lot more on container growing or small space growing, because not everybody has got big gardens or allotments. So it makes perfect sense, like we've proved with the containers that we've emptied that are really small, and we've got lots and lots of carrots out of them. We've had good sized onions out at same size containers. So it just proves that you can not only grow quite a lot in a very small area, but you've also got that added advantage of being able to protect them that little bit better. I've actually got lettuce at this time of year that's gone leggy, and that's not normal at all. These are some lettuce seedlings that we put in, and we buried them really deep. There was only one little top leaf sticking out when we did those, but because it's been overcast quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, these are stretched. They'll still be alright if we take them out, maybe bury them a little bit deeper, but they normally don't look like that at all. They're usually quite small, stocky plants. However, we have got another container of carrots that we sowed quite recently, and they seem to be coming along alright. But I've left that container in this greenhouse, so although it's not quite as warm as it normally is through summer, that's kind of an advantage towards carrots because they're not drying out so much. And carrots are quite cold hardy as well. And because of the combination of that and keeping them in this greenhouse away from those winds and massive downpours that we've had, which would have squashed all those seedlings flat at compost and probably ruined them, we've left them in this greenhouse and they've come along quite nicely, and they're also now starting to get the first true leaves. This is that container that we recently set up, and you can see that a lot of these seedlings have got the true leaves now, and they've all been evenly spaced out right from the beginning. So that container's done really well. But I would imagine that if that had been left outside, because these seedlings are quite small, those heavy downpours would have squashed a lot of these seedlings flat to that compost, and they might not have got back up. Which is another good reason for me to concentrate more on container growing over the next few weeks. We've got more of those Florence red onions there as well. They're getting ready to be pricked out and moved on. And then we've got this container of carrots as well. And this one survived all those downpours, but that's because they're more established seedlings, so they're a lot stronger. And that's been in container garden. I'll go check on those two little plants that were just randomly put in ground round here. We haven't checked them for a few days. See what's happening. Well, that courgette's still happily growing away, so no problems there. And then behind it, that tiny little tomato plant. It's barely a few inches tall, and yet still it's giving us fruit. And there's loads of little tiny ones appearing as well now. So whether or not normally grown in a greenhouse, these two have adapted and are still giving us some fruit. And this T-Rex plant's loving this rain. It's putting on massive amounts of growth. Potato plants just took a bit of a beating though. That's a main crop one. I think they're Sarpos. Summit foliage is still okay, so I'm going to leave it be. But a lot on it has took a bit of a beating over it last week. And all these ones have been outside all the time. Little containers like this have done perfectly well. These tomato plants still ripening tomatoes, even though the weather is far from warm. These plants are still trying. However, this plant has been battered, and I would think that is pigeons, because we've got it up on this bench. There's a lot of pigeons around this area, but that doesn't look very good at all. Next to it, there's another one that's hardly been touched. I just keep checking on these Jack the Little pumpkins. They seem to be doing alright. That one looks about the healthiest, I'd say. But we're definitely getting ready to take an harvest from here. There's Italian plum tomatoes. That one is basically ripe now. So that one has basically fell off as I moved it, because it's fully ripe and it's nice and soft. So we can add this one to the ones that we've ripened indoors and maybe make up a little batch of bolognese sauce or something like that. But everything else is now following suit. And these outdoor tomato plants, battered by wind and rain for weeks on end, are still producing flowers. And there's lots of tomatoes on these plants, some of which are now starting to ripen. As peas, they're looking a little bit tired now, but that's to be expected. But they are still producing flowers, which means they're still trying to grow more pods. On this strawberry tower, we've got a nice strawberry there. We can harvest that and pop it on windowsill, and then it'll completely ripen. We'll take that off. Just here, there's another one as well, and we can do the same with that. A couple of days on windowsill, and we've got two really nice ripe strawberries. There's a smaller one just here. I'll leave that, not quite ripe. Around here, again, similar story. I think that's got one more day on it, and then we'll take it. Things have slimmed down a little bit in container garden, but we are harvesting quite a lot of things, and I'm going to add some more containers to this over the next couple of weeks to try and keep this going. But But no worries about this container of parsley. Still going crazy. And his peas are all growing nicely. They're the dwarf ones that we've just planted. Twinkle, they're called. And we've got some more right there as well. And we keep taking harvests of these berries. I took about 5 off this morning. I missed that one. Nice little red berries. So a little bit of a walk round. And again, we've took a few harvests. You've only got to look at that. And that has got to put a smile on your face. A really bad year for growing, yet we're still getting ripe fruit and vegetables. And that's the best bit. This Italian plum. We thought we were going to lose every single plant and every fruit on them. And this is the first one that we've harvested. And it's perfect. And it's nice and soft. So fully ripe. So it looks like we've solved that problem, at least for now. Nobody's perfect at what they do all through season. It don't matter how many years you've been growing things for. Nobody can know everything all the time. And you certainly can't predict what the weather's going to do from one year to next. So every single year is going to be different. And if you're a first time gardener and you're getting a little bit of something, I think you've done exceptionally well this year. And I've said that before because it's a fact. Don't let a couple of disappointing harvests put you off growing in future. Take the rough with smooth and bad with good, and then we'll move on to what to sow and grow in August. Thank you very much for being part of this channel and for continually trying and not giving up. If you're interested in seeing what we're going to be doing through August, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you then. Take care.